I've been a dentist for 6 months now. I'm in a brilliant practice with phenomenal ESs, lovely colleagues, and one of my best friends from dental school who's been an absolute rock for me this year. And yet this year's been incredibly challenging for me, and that's okay. It's an extremely difficult year, but overcoming the struggle and the stress is what determines your success and ultimately where you learn your most important lessons. Here are 6 of mine. Number 1. Strengths overused are often weaknesses. This one my ESs alerted me to quite early on in the year, to be honest. I'd say one of my strengths is connecting with people, building good rapport, and I've been leaning on that as a crutch to compensate for my lack of clinical experience. You could say that's better than nothing. It's better than not being particularly good at rapport building and also not being very experienced clinically. But the main problem is I've been leaning on my interpersonal skills and I've not been developing my clinical skills, which is kind of the whole point of this year. And that's something I've thankfully learned early on and something I'm really trying to overcome even now. Number 2. Complex things are just a series of simple steps. This is an idea I got from Dr. Lincoln Harris on his website Right Global. He has an amazing talk about this where he basically just says that all complex procedures are just made up of a series of simple steps, and to make that procedure easier, all you need to do is complete each step to an adequate level. For example, if you're doing a root canal treatment, if you put the rubber dam on but it's not really on properly but you push on anyway, the thing's going to be sliding all over the place, the clamp might ping off, you're just making your life harder. If you continue and do the access, for example, you do your access cavity but it's not, it's not perfect. You're barely going to see the canals. You're going to make your life a million times more difficult than if you just nailed the access. Then you'll be able to see all the canals, you probably won't even need loops, and you'll be able to complete that procedure properly. Don't make your life harder, just nail the simple things. Number 3. Constructive critical feedback trumps self-reflection. A bit controversial, this one. Everyone puts self-reflection on such a pedestal, and it is important, don't get me wrong. But when you're at the start of your career, you can reflect till the cows come home. You probably won't work out what you've done wrong in some circumstances. If you have somebody, your ES, to actually tell you where you're going wrong, to give you tips, then you can then reflect on that and see what you can change. And that, to me, is so much more important than self-reflection in your first year. If your ES is not giving you feedback, you must ask for it, whether you ask them or someone else that you trust, another mentor for example. You won't get this chance again when you're working as an associate, and I'm quite lucky because my ESs are very, very proactive with their feedback and were telling me what I did wrong and what I can improve on. It was only through them being so proactive with it that I actually learned the value of it. Number 4, attention to detail is everything. This is something I've always struggled with. I'm not the most detail orientated person and I am quite lazy, which is a diabolical combination. You need to understand every step of what you're doing and why it's important. Why are you luxating? Why do you need a wooden wedge? Why do you need to take a jaw registration? Understanding all these steps and bearing in mind what you're actually trying to achieve will make your treatments way more predictable and also just make you less stressed because you know if something's going to work or not, within reason. I mean, it's not going to make you psychic or anything. Number 5, stop lying to yourself. I love this one. We've all been there where we're doing something for the first time, like you're giving an ID block for the second time in your life and you kind of put the needle in, you're kind of like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I might be there, so I'm just going to do it and pray. Or when you take a clinical photo that looks like this, or a radiograph that looks like this, and you know it's not good enough, but you're still just like, oh, I might see a bit of that apex if I look hard enough, or that photo, it might be okay. No, cut the BS. You know if it's okay or not. If it's not, just retake that photo, retake the x-ray, read up more on ID blocks. Just do something that will stop you lying to yourself about your competence. If you don't know, sort it out. The final one, number 6, cherish the struggle. Failing sucks. Being stressed sucks. And yes, we feel great when things go according to plan, but you know what? You're probably not learning a lot when that happens. When something's going wrong, just know that it's a learning experience. Cherish the fact that you're going to be better after this period. When things are going wrong, which they often do, stay calm, try not to get flustered, take a deep breath, and just enjoy the fact that you're actually about to learn something. One of my favourite sayings is life begins at the end of your comfort zone, and coincidentally that's where most of your learning takes place as well. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. As usual, I had a blast making it. I'd love to hear some of the things you've learned through your foundation year or through dental school or whatever it is you've been doing recently. So if you have anything you'd like to share, just leave it in the comments below. And if you want to see more dental related content, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you soon. Take care.